Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. So I'm a huge fan of the Metro games, and there is a bit of a controversy surrounding the upcoming Metro Exodus game, which is set to release in a couple weeks on February 15th. So I know there's been quite a few people who have made videos about it, but I figured I'd throw my hat in the ring and give my 2 cents about the whole thing. So in order to give a little bit of background about what's going on, the game has been available for pre-order on Steam for quite some time now, and just recently, actually back on, I believe, what was it? January 28th, Metro Exodus on their official Twitter account, I assume this is the publisher, Deep Silver, made this announcement. They said, "We are partnering with Epic to bring Metro Exodus to the Epic Store. This partnership will allow Deep Silver to invest in the future of the Metro series and the development team at 4A Games." So just reading that alone, it doesn't sound like a bad thing. It just says they're bringing it to Epic. So anyone who likes the Epic launcher can buy it there. But the problem with that is they're not just adding it to the Epic store. They are pulling it from the Steam store. So that's right. That's why everybody's upset. That's the whole shenaniganery right there. So basically, anyone who wanted to buy it on Steam now has to wait a year until it comes back to Steam, or they have to go buy it on the Epic store. And people just don't want to do that. It's inconvenient. People are used to using Steam. They have all their games there. They don't want to waste disk space using another launcher. You know, it's understandable. The main reason for that switch is purely financially, as they said, which, you know, in itself is understandable because they are business. They need to make money. And Steam takes, I believe, 30% of every sale that a game makes, whereas Epic is only taking, I believe, 12 or 13%. So huge difference there. In itself, competition is great. You know, it's going to help motivate Steam to lower their prices eventually if Epic continues to do well. And everybody's going to be seeing savings. Studios are going to be seeing savings. Customers are going to be seeing it. And customers are actually already seeing savings on the Metro Exodus title after it's already moved to Epic, because as far as I'm aware, in most regions, the game is now $10 cheaper. But the big mistake that the Metro Exodus team, namely the publisher Deep Silver, made was the timing is horrendous. It's horrible. A couple weeks before release and it's already been available on Steam for pre-order, people are going to be pissed. It's horrible timing. If they would have done it way back in the day when they first announced the game, this would not even be an issue. No one would even care. But Valve, who owns Steam, actually came out with a really nice response for the customers. And they said on the official Steam store page, which you can no longer buy the game on. So Valve came out and said, "Notice, sales of Metro Exodus have been discontinued on Steam due to a publisher decision to make the game exclusive to another PC store. The developer and publisher have assured us that all prior sales of the game on Steam will be fulfilled on Steam, and Steam owners will be able to access the game on any future updates or DLC through Steam." Man, the word Steam is listed a lot. Valve thinks the decision to remove the game is unfair to Steam customers, especially after a long pre-sale period. And we apologize to Steam customers that were expecting it to be available for sale through the February 15th release date, but we were only recently informed of the decision and given limited time to let everyone know. So it's not Steam's fault. Deep Silver's just being a douche. It is fortunate, though, that anyone who pre-ordered the game before that announcement does still get the game on Steam and will get all future updates and DLC through Steam. So those are the lucky people. Fortunately, I'm one of those lucky people who is dumb enough to pre-order. I say dumb enough to pre-order because I do not recommend pre-ordering games. I just did it because I absolutely adore the previous games. I think they're basically masterpieces, to put it lightly. But anyway, I think the previous game I pre-ordered was like Portal 2, so many, many years ago. I do not pre-order often, and I recommend you do not do the same. Or do the same, I don't know. Anyway. So the major big response we've been seeing in the past couple days is the previous games on Steam. So Metro 2033 Redux and Metro Last Light Redux have been getting absolutely trashed, review bombed out of existence. Well, not really, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but if we take a look at the Steam page for Metro 2033 Redux, we're gonna see that the recent reviews are listed as mostly negative. All reviews very positive. So the Steam review system luckily is really good, really robust, and they keep people in the loop. So if you scroll down, you'll see that there's this handy dandy chart. It says high volume of negative reviews detected January 30th to February 2nd. So Steam is letting customers know something out of the ordinary is going down. The reviews are going down. So you can actually hover over stuff and see the date and how many reviews. So they're getting about, in the past, just the past 2 days, they've gotten about 3,000 negative reviews, which are solely because of this controversy from removing the game from the Steam store and putting it on the Epic store. So if you scroll down, you can see the first review. It has nothing to do with Metro 2033. It just lists reasons not to use Epic Store. I marked that as it was not helpful because that guy is being a little baby. So obviously, with that being said, I don't agree with this type of feedback. It's unfortunate that there are not better ways to provide feedback for the publisher and for the dev team other than doing this childish review bombing for a game that has nothing to do with the controversy. There's a lot of that crap going on. Anyway, so one thing I would like to see from Steam to help sort of remedy this is, so up at the top of every Steam store page, they have the developer and the publisher listed with links to their respective Steam pages. I think it would be excellent if you could click on those pages, go to them, and leave a review for the publisher or the studio themselves instead of the games, because let's be frank, especially with a lot of the early access titles that have been coming out on Steam, there's a lot of really devious and clandestine developers out there that are just releasing total garbage, you know, and they just keep doing games after games, and a lot of customers don't know that these developers have really bad reputations, you know, so they don't know. So I think it would be great if you could review a publisher and a developer, and if it would show their reviews next to their names at the top of every Steam store page associated with them. That would be excellent. I would like to point out, though, I don't think 4A Games, the developer of Metro, is a bad developer. I think they are excellent. I'm going to put all the blame right now, and I think rightfully so, on the publisher Deep Silver for doing this douchebaggery of a move. I don't think it was cool whatsoever. I think it's going to hurt them financially, even though they were thinking it was going to be a financial gain. Anyway, so the latest news to come out of this is a alleged, or what we believe to be a official dev for Metro Exodus did a little bit of like a rant sort of thing on some forums the other day. And this is Google translated, so Russian to English is really horrible. So I'm going to take a little bit of liberties with sort of translating this as well. So he says, I watched the bubbling. So he means he watched the uproar, the controversy. Impressions are twofold. On one hand, removing the game from Steam was ambiguous, and no other developer has really done it so close to release. This is a new thing, which obviously can cause rejection among the fans or for them to get upset. And yes, and such a move pulls the need, or requires the need to install a different launcher, which could cause some inconvenience to the players and therefore cause discontent, which indeed it has. And he goes on to say, on the other hand, the reaction from some players is hardly adequate. It seems some people don't even want to play the game, or they never intended to, they just want a reason to complain. Which, you know, to some degree is probably true, although I think it's a very small minority of people. We, the developers, have been working hard on the game, trying to make something special for you guys, but a certain category of people believe that our work is not worth the time or the couple of minutes to simply install a different launcher. Naturally, it is their life and their right, but then what do they care about the game? Obviously, it's not interesting to them. I can only say we are not players either, and they're not interested in our work. I'm not really sure what that means. And then he goes on to say, what is the point for me to even pay attention or listen to their opinion? So that's really not the right way to put it. Obviously, this is not an official statement from the studio or the publisher as a whole. This is just one alleged dev member going on his own little personal rant on a forum. So I mean, he shouldn't be doing this. I would be surprised if he doesn't get in some sort of trouble for this, because it's bad PR. But it's not wise to disregard all of that opinion. Obviously, he's frustrated, and rightfully so to some degree, because the games that I would assume he worked on, the previous games, are getting totally review bombed. It's not fair. But you know, he shouldn't be saying all this anyway, and he needs to really listen to the feedback. It is valuable. So anyway, he goes on to also say, but consider the situation deeper. Someone is saying they're going to review bomb Exodus and the previous games in the series, which they're doing. And it's going to make the world better because they're going to put greedy developers in their place. To this, I can answer that if the PC players announce a boycott of the Metro series, then the next Metro game, if it is created, will definitely not be on the PC. Better or worse, decide for yourself. I personally feel sorry for the loyal fans, yes, but my assessment of the work that my friends and colleagues and I have done will not change this. I firmly know that almost everyone who pours this dirt on the net is also incapable of respecting what we have done, and that means they have no idea what they're talking about. This last paragraph, he just kind of goes on to talk about like how much passion he puts into the game, which I've been following the studio for a while, and it's very clear they're very passionate, they're very talented, they're hardworking, but that is not relevant to the move that's been made. And I will say about the previous statement that he made, I don't know what position he holds on the dev team, but I highly doubt that he's in any position to guarantee that it won't be on the PC, or that the next game will not be on the PC if criticism is continued as it's appearing at this moment. Like, that's more of a publisher decision and a financial decision. And it would just be unwise. It would be a bad business move to not put it on the PC. This series originated on the PC, and that's where it thrives. And so I would just take that with a grain of salt. He's clearly just upset, and he'll get over it. But it's I really wouldn't worry about it. So in closing, my final thoughts on the whole thing is it was a horrible business decision on their part. It was disrespectful to the fans. Solely because of the timing. They shouldn't have done it. They should have saved that for... I mean, they should have done it beforehand, and they should have just saved it for the next game in the series. I'm not going to pretend I know what their financial situation is like. I do know that it is incredibly stupid expensive to make games nowadays. So, who knows? Maybe they really did need to make that move in order, in their minds, to maybe survive, or to ensure that they would make enough money to definitely be able to make more games in the future. I don't know. But either way, it was handled poorly. I think it's going to hurt them in the long run. With that being said, if you intended to buy the game before all this, you should still buy the game. I mean, either you're going to wait a year for it to be on Steam where you can buy it there, or you can go to Epic and get it for, depending on the region you live, you can get it $10 cheaper, so you're going to save a little bit of money. I know it's kind of annoying. You can always just uninstall everything after you beat the game, so you don't have to have that crap on your computer. Don't let it ruin the fun for you, you know? I mean, it's a game. At the end of the day, it's a game. It's entertainment. It's not anything super serious. I know it's frustrating, and I know it's annoying, but, you know, things like this happen. Hopefully it won't happen in the future. And, I think that's really all I got to add, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know and I can start to make more videos like this. So if you did, hit that thumbs up button. That would be great. Subscribe if you want to see more. Feel free to let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. Do you agree with my assessment, my point of view, or do you have something totally different? And are you going to buy the game? Were you going to buy the game before? Are you going to buy it now? I'd love to hear your feedback. So anyway, guys, until next time.